medal again in the Olympia. 254. Yeah.
Good morning.
He looked bigger.
Let me just switch this
Yeah,
off.
hell yeah.
Welcome to another video. You've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. It is rest day today at 22 days out from the finale, the final boss of the season in Italia. So I thought I'd take you through a full day of eating on rest day, as well as a Q&A that I put out on IG. So I'm gonna eat my meals, answer some questions, get through the day. It's rest day, so obviously no training. I've been to the gym this morning, done some steps, had a sauna. I would say I'm doing a sauna on rest days, but I'm actually doing them most days, most mornings. Today I will be having a haircut and also a sunbed, which I will also try and do once a week. And we'll try and squeeze it in on a rest day just because there's more time to play with because I'm not training. So meal one is going in. I've got 100 grams of cream of rice. We've got 30 grams of vegan protein, because what I do is I split some of the egg whites from my egg meal to have some protein, so that we've got like two flavors going on in the cream of rice. So we've got vanilla, vegan protein, strawberries and cream, cream of rice, cinnamon, and then here we've got 3 whole eggs, 100 ml of egg whites because it's normally 300. Obviously the 200 extra has been taken away for the vegan protein, just juggling that. And then we've got 100 grams of green veg in the form of asparagus. And what I'm also doing is I'm measuring out my reduced ketchup. I haven't been doing this all prep, I've just been kind of squirting it. Pause. But now I am measuring it just so that I'm not going overboard with the ketchup. So 15 grams. If you saw me splitting the meals in one of the other videos, I was doing 30 grams, which was like egg whites on a plate, 3 whole eggs of veg on a plate, 15 on there, 15 on here, but now I'm just putting 15 on here, so reducing that a little bit. Just for this last blast, really, and then I gradually will phase that out. I've actually run out of berries. Well, I say I've run out of berries. The people in my house have used all the berries, so there's no berries on there. So what I'm gonna have to do is actually put berries in later this morning when I go for a haircut, go to the supermarket, buy some, eat those. Or I might just add a little bit more to my other meals through the day because I have got cream of rice later on as well. I'm not going to film eating, it's just eating. So I'm going to eat this and then jump into the Q&A, watch some YouTube, and then crack on with the video. So enjoy. And once again, before I finish actually the ramble, you know I love a ramble on the intro, thank you very, very much to everyone that has watched the show weekend video and all the feedback, the comments. Has been mind-blowing. It's been up a day. It's on 1.2 thousand views already, 70 plus comments. Some of them are replies, obviously, from myself. But it's epic. Epic to see, epic to receive, and yeah, it just goes a long way. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. As you can probably tell from stuff scattered here, there is still things on the table from the win. I've got a frame coming today for the Pro card, which is then going to be going up in my office, and then I will also move the trophies and medals into the office as well, all at the same time. So there we go. I'm going to eat and watch, and then we'll get into some questions off the gram. Okay, meal done, and my morning health subs, which obviously is the JP range. We've got Vital Support, Digest Pharma Pro, which is per meal, Love Heart, Omega Pharma Pro, Heart Care, and vitamin C. So just chucked the morning allowance in there. Some are split per meal, like the Digest Pharma Pro, the Omegas, and then the other ones are kind of split AM and PM. So I'll do those obviously with first meal, and then either last meal or before bed, whichever happens first. That's not right. I'll eat my last meal and then I'll go to bed. I won't go to bed and then eat my meal. But yeah, I'll either just take them with the meal, or if I forgot to get them and I'm like, I can't go back downstairs, I'll just take them when I come down and put the dog out for a piss, basically, keeping it real. So on to Q&A. I'm not going to answer like a load per meal, probably like 2 questions. I've had like, I think it's about 10 or 12 decent ones. Like there's a couple of stragglers that always come through in these Q&As, which I'm not going to be answering. But let's kick it off. So, do I know how many gyms I've trained in around the world? No. The truthful answer. I've never actually thought about it. I mean, around the UK, I've probably trained in like close to, I don't know, probably between the 40 to 50 range, just because of shoots. So obviously I'll be going to gyms for shoots and then I'll train there, especially if I've never been there to train. Obviously when I've been to a gym and I've trained there a few times, I will probably not train there unless I fancy training there, unless I've got to train there on prep or whatever. I will try and stick to the home gym in those moments. But yeah, if it's a new gym I'm going to, then I will try and make the effort to train there, especially if it's good. And then outside of the UK, I mean, I've trained everywhere that I've been. So, fucking hell, sound like a jet setter saying that. I've trained everywhere I've been. Probably like in the region of 20 to 30 other different gyms around the world. So, you know, as a ballpark figure, you're probably looking at 70 to 80 gyms, like as a rough figure without sitting down and writing them all down. And I probably forgot more gyms than I can remember that I've trained in. But yeah, it's got to be in the region of 70 to 80. You know, if you think about it, over the last 10 years of being in this, and then a lot of that time being spent behind the camera lens, filming athletes, traveling with athletes to shows. Yeah, it's got to be up there, 70 to 80, which is mad to think. Thankfully, you know, with the name of Magic Eye quite built up now, the gym owners will normally know me, or I'll message them to say, look, we're doing a shoot there, and they'll let me train there for free. So 9 times out of 10, I'm not having to pay a day pass, which is awesome. Because, you know, if I'm paying day passes at these gyms, it can add up. Some of them are mad money, 20 quid a day, and yeah, fuck that. So yeah, about 70 to 80. Next question. What is the driving force? I think I answered this on a YouTube recently, or maybe a podcast, can't remember. And the driving force for me is fear. The F word, not fatigue. Fear. The fear of going backwards, the fear of not being further ahead than I am now, the fear of losing everything. Fear is like the one driving force. It was the driving force which originally, you know, started me getting in the mix with all this stuff, with my transformation. You know, the fear of losing the progress I'd made with my physique, even though it was just like me losing a shit ton of weight at the start to do the transformation, blank canvas, racing snake physique. I think the fear of me going backwards and putting weight back on and undoing the hard work that I'd grafted for, because that first one is always the worst one. I remember it now. Brutal days. Some stupid things done, but obviously knowledge was very limited then. I just kind of did what I saw on YouTube, if it fits your macros, and definitely overdid it. But yeah, I would say fear of that got me into the physique standpoint, and that kind of built up over the years, and gradually it developed into where I am now, you know, bodybuilder, I guess. I know, pro bodybuilder, whee, pro card there. And then in terms of business, I think the driving force for that again is you know, is putting food on the table. So you've got to stay on your A game with business and getting money in and establishing yourself within your career path, whatever that is. Whether you're working for the man in a office-based job, which some people do, and that's great. Wasn't for me. Absolutely hated it. Me working for myself is definitely where I belong. So yeah, I think fear of not being able to provide money to put food on the table, to pay for trips to Dubai, as the wife walks in behind the camera. So yeah, I think fear is probably the main driving force. And right now, the driving force for Carla is to... I've had to cut a bit out. You can hear her spraying. That's all you need to know. Yeah, and then in terms of the driving force for my own personal bodybuilding journey now, is the fear of regret. So again, it's still fear. The fear of not doing all I can in the time that I can, or the time that I've got to actually do it. There's nothing worse than regrets. I already regret the fact that I didn't start this earlier. So for me now, it's about milking it as much as I can. Hence why I've done all these shows this year. It's milking it while I'm in the mix, while I'm able to do it, before it's going to be a moment where I can, well, not that I can go, but I have to go. I think it's time you hang them up, bruv. So, fear of regret, nothing worse. So yes, that is the driving force for me. So that's the first one. Rambled. God, this is going to turn into another 60-minute video now, I apologise. On with work. On with a trip to Tesco and on with a haircut at some point. I'm not sure what order yet. I'm not sure if I can be asked going straight back out. But yeah, I'll catch up with you on meal 2 in about 2.5 hours.
Anyways, you know what though? You know, I want to say this to you. A lot of guys now do that extra work that you
Pause. Do. Right, meal 2. It's midday, dead on, 12 o'clock. What's the chances of that? Be flat out here. Coaching stuff. Currently transferring clients over to a new system that I've got in place, which you can see on the big screen. This is the old screen. Still yet to sell it. Still yet to put it up for sale, to be honest. But transferring existing clients over onto it, which I'm having to do manual labour to do that, type everything in manually. So that's what I've been doing this morning, just getting 1 or 2 guys over. I've had actually 2 new starters yesterday that are on there. So I've been prioritising obviously new starters first before the new guys, because the new guys are already set up on the previous system, which was 𝘬𝘭𝘰𝘵, which I've used for like 2 years. So I'm juggling the new guys and the existing guys. I've got 2 new guys coming on board by the end of the week. So it'll be existing guys now, then the new guys, and then back to existing guys. Anyway, I'm rambling. This is meal 2. As I said, it's midday. Rice, I've bulk cooked rice, 100 grams per meal for 3 meals today, which is 280 cooked after obviously we've cooked it in the rice cooker. Then 150 chicken cooked, which is 200 raw, and then also 150 greens, 2 grams of salt and pepper, no sauce. Try and limit the sauce on every other meal. The egg meal gets sauce and the beef meal gets sauce, because I find that dry as hell. I can get away with just salt and pepper on this one. So this is my second meal of the day. Midday. So I've got 4 more meals, 6 meals a day. I'll probably speed up the meal process later on in the day. I find the beginning part of the day, I can kind of go a little bit longer without eating, no problem. The back end of the day, which I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this will agree with, I always feel hungrier in the night. So my eating windows are a lot shorter. Later on in the day, I do that purposely just because it feels like I'm eating more food the back end of the day, which is surprising because you'll see by the end of this video how much food I'm actually on at the minute, but I'm hungry on it. And this I put on a reel the other day. I actually put it in a video as well, is that when you are lean, no matter how much food you're eating, you're going to be hungry. So it's all relative to where you're at. So I'm going to chow down on this, continue watching 𝘗𝘳𝘰𝘶 on the 𝘗𝘭𝘰𝘵 podcast, and then I will get into more of the Q&A stuff. So I do hope this is entertaining for you. I'm just checking it's on autofocus because I thought I saw a little red line to say it was on manual then, but no, we're still on auto. Job done. I've had an haircut, by the way, fresh. Shout out to Darko trimming me up. So there we go. Right, meal done. I forgot to say there was also 8 grams of coconut oil on there. Now, I hate coconut. Carla knows this. She loves a Bounty and I can't fucking stand them. Although I could probably eat one right now, I'll be honest. But 8 grams of coconut oil and I fucking love it. I fucking love it, boys. Taste buds are just on one at the moment. So after I demolished the rice, because obviously you can see there's nothing left on that plate at all. The finger went around the plate to lick up the coconut oil. I'm sure that's not going to be happening in about 6-7 weeks time post show, when the taste buds have kind of come back to life. Anyhow, moving on. Some more questions. Off-season versus prep, which one do you actually enjoy more?
Off-season.
Carla said she enjoys off-season more. I remember that when I'm snoring in your ear when I'm 270 pounds. All right, when I'm crushing you at 270 pounds. When I'm wearing a frigging gas mask to bed. As I was saying, which one do I enjoy more? Different reasons. I enjoy prep because I feel like it unlocks something in your head mentally. It feels like you kind of level up every time you do a prep with where you can take yourself. I've definitely taken myself further than I've been before on this fucking 27 weeks I think we're on now, or 28 weeks, with a couple of weeks to go. So I do enjoy that side of it. That's more of just a psychotic mental thing. Obviously off season, I get to enjoy life a bit more. So me and Carla will obviously do a lot more together. I'll go to a lot more things with the lads. Like I was speaking to someone yesterday about the fact I go to a lot of concerts. I've not been to one for so long. Last year I did go on prep, but I've kind of been so locked in on this one that I've not even, like they've been and I've said, nah, not for me lads, I'm going to hold it down. So I've not actually been to any gigs for a long time now. And I think as soon as prep finishes on the 15th of November, it's one of the lads' birthdays. And that week, I'm pretty sure Clips are in concert in Bristol, like that next weekend. And I think there's another concert down in London that they've put out in the message group. I've not really looked through it because I don't want to be tempted by something I can't really do at the moment. But yeah, I'm sure there's a couple of gigs straight after prep finishes, so we'll definitely be going on those if I'm allowed out to play. Yeah, leaving you again. So yeah, I guess there's two answers. There's not really one answer for that one. I enjoy both for different reasons. How have I found the reception of me winning the pro card at the weekend? That's a deep one. Mostly positive, really. I mean, the social media interaction's been crazy. Just with like, from photographers that were there, just sending me pictures that I didn't obviously expect to receive, to the messages like on the YouTube, on the Insta DMs, to the new followers coming through. I mean, there is like a negative side to it as well. Like you'd think people that, you know, have been around for you would have messaged. I've not actually, not that I'm looking for them, but I've not actually received messages from certain people to say well done on that, which is strange, especially when they're about bodybuilding, like they're about it locally or whatever. You know, it's funny, I've said this in previous videos, I'll get messages from some of the highest level fucking bodybuilders on the planet wishing me luck or saying well done and congratulating me. Bloody Stefan and others that I've just been watching, congratulating me on my overall win just a few weeks back over in Germany and Italy. But then local fucking bodybuilder from down the road can't even pick up his phone to drop me a message to say well done, which I find really strange. And people that have commented on that when I've spoke about it will say this jealousy, but like I don't put it down to jealousy. If it is, then there's nothing to be jealous about, because I'm like the most supportive person, and if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be the first one picking up the phone and say fucking well done, smashed it. I love it. I love seeing boys do well, especially locally, Welsh bodybuilding. Unfortunately, not everyone's like that, so that is like the negative side to it, but that doesn't outweigh the positives at all, because I'm buzzing with that. I'm buzzing with the pro card. I'll keep looking to the left, because in the break between the last clip of meal 1 and meal 2, my frame has been delivered. We've framed the pro card. I just need to actually put it up now, which I will do today, but I'm not sure I'm going to put it in this video. I think we'll leave that, because I want to make that area of my office proper, sparkly, because there's more trophies and medals to kind of put up around the shrine. The only thing is there's a whiteboard in the middle, which does have some interesting data written on it, i.e. PED cycle. So I'm not sure I want to put that on YouTube. Plus I've also got my social media scheduling, because I am setting that up and I'm going for it with the social media. So I have got a little bit of a schedule in place in terms of posting and what content I want to film for my coaching, etc, etc. So that is that. I'm rambling. Back to work. Next meal will probably go in around about 2:30, which is like 2.5 hours from that one. And then from there, it'll be like 4 p.m, 6 p.m, 8 p.m. Last meal always by 8. So like you can see, the times between meals are getting rather short, and that is purposely done. So a little tip for you: if you do get hungry in the night, shorten the eating window in the evening and last it out as long as you can in the day. Unless, of course, you're training and you've got to get your pre and posted and all that. So there we go. Onwards with work, people. Bada bing, bada boom, bosh. Oh, awesome, right? Meal 3, ladies and gents, boys and girls, sports fans around the world. A little bit later, got busy, 3 o'clock, starving. So, I've actually mixed this meal up a little bit. It's usually vegan protein or whey isolate for those that can eat it, which I definitely cannot. It's 100 grams of cream of rice with 60 vegan whey, but something one of the boys told me, who was it? Max, hold that thought. I'm gonna have to give him a shout. Where is he? Shane Maximus, if you're watching this, brother, this is one of your tips. He's also a fellow PCA pro, feels good to say that. He said about splitting, like at this point in the diet where food is low, using chicken instead of whey, so it's like bulks up the meal. So I've started doing this a while back, and you saw me putting ketchup. Obviously I'm limiting my ketchup, so there's no ketchup on this one. So I've got my my protein source as chicken, which I prepped earlier, 150 grams of, 100 grams cream of rice, as I said, and then 20 grams of dark chocolate. And the berries that I missed from earlier, I've been to Tesco obviously, I have added 50 grams extra berries in here, which I'll also add some more to the meal later. There's 150 berries to throw in the mix. This is only supposed to be 100, so I've got 150, and then I've also got another 100 to add in later on, which I'll do that later. So this is the meal: cinnamon, 2 grams of salt, new episode of Bro Chat, 1.5 litres of water with some hydration mixed in, Sugar Rush vape, which the missus picked up for me yesterday, and we are good to go. While I'm eating this, because I don't want to bore you or annoy you with eating sounds, the PCA just tagged me in the post-stage interview after I won the pro card. So while I'm eating this, I will download that and slap it on the screen, cut my audio out of me eating and Fuad and the boys chatting, and you can watch that. And then I will get into the next question. So enjoy.
We have Jay, who has just won the medium class bodybuilding at the PCA British Finals. Yep. Walked out there very, very high standard.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It was good, man.
Hard
good
work.
Boys.
It looked like hard work.
It was hard work. Yeah. It's been one of those weekends, bro. If I'm honest, it's been a hard work. It's been a few weeks of it actually. So
okay.
Yeah.
Now with the mindset going into the qualifier. Yeah. You said that just go out there, give your all. Yeah. What was the mindset going into this one?
Again, like no expectations, but I knew it was going to be tough class, best in Britain at the end of the day. So just work my ass off and hopefully, fit in the top end of the pack, and hopefully do some damage and get into that top 3, depending on who I was going against. And obviously know a couple of the boys from being on the scene anyway, so it was just a case of going up and seeing where we stand and just be the best man win. Like. Okay,
now we've going towards the centre of the stage. Yeah. You're next to Marius.
Yes.
Because you two are the big guys, what was going through your mind?
Well, I knew from obviously looking at backstage, I was more conditioned than him. So it was a case of like, I knew he was a little bit bigger than me. So I was just like, well, you played my card, the stealth, and that was the condition card. So if I don't show them the condition, they're not going to see it. So it was just squeeze every part of my fucking body, bro. And we know which parts I was squeezing. Everyone knows which parts I was squeezing.
Well, We saw illustrations from the back. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, who are the people you want to give a big shout out to for not just today, but you've done a few shows over the year.
Yeah.
And are you finished for the year?
No. We're gonna keep going, bro. There's a
Okay.
couple more in me, I think.
So,
Hopefully.
who are those people you want to give a big shout out to?
The backbone, the wife, like, without her, nothing's possible, man. So, shout out to Carla. My closest friends, Liam's come up today. There's other close friends, and of course, my sponsors, Trained by JP. Couldn't do anything without their support. And the big man behind all the plans, Callum Raystrick. And thank you very much for everything. Like, you know, he knows what it means to me, and I'm going to stop talking because I can feel the bottom lip going, because he knows what that means.
Cal will appreciate it.
Yeah, he'd love that. But he knows what I'm like. So yeah. Big up all of you, and and everyone that supports me just on socials and all that stuff as well. I appreciate it massively. It goes a long, long way.
Okay, I want to say well done.
Thank you, bro.
Massive congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Work's not done yet.
No. We've got
Still got work to do out there. You got your bro
always
and
work.
the pro show.
Yep.
So put your feet up for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, straight back
Literally.
into it, innit? Yeah.
Then go get back out there.
I'll wet the mouth and then we'll go again.
Well done, bro.
Some bro.
Thanks, man.
You're very regimented. This motherfucker being boiled chicken.
Balls are still getting licked here.
Well, I've evolved. I use air.
Shall I give you a little breakdown of where we're at food-wise? I was just thinking some people are going to want to know the numbers. First meal was like 730, call it 700. Second meal was 600. That meal was 700, so 714. So that's 2,000. And then the odds 30, 60. So like 2,100 calories halfway through the day. You can kind of see where I'm going to end up with that. I won't go through the macros. I won't bore you with that. Next question. What do you keep your fat intake in during off-season and prep, mate? Does that mean what range do I keep it in? I think that's what he means. I mean, to be honest, it's all dependent on what Cal sends across. I go with his plan, whether it's off-season or prep, and that's the way it's been for the last 4 years, really. Even like in my downtime in the off-season, we're still following a meal plan. Yes, there's going to be more flexibility for, meals off, etc. But for the most part, I go with the meal plan. I don't even go by macros. I've tried it once or twice, and I would prefer just having a set meal plan, knowing exactly what I need to eat, because I've got enough things to think about outside of this to deal with. So I'd rather just look at a spreadsheet that he sends across and just go by the numbers. But just for example, the fat range right now in prep is training days is 58 grams, and then on rest days, which is obviously today, it goes up to 79 grams. So there's about a 20 gram difference between training and rest days at the moment. Now, I am at the back end of a prep phase. I'm very lean. Food is higher than it has been in this prep phase. So it was a lot lower, and obviously we've got to a point now where body fat, is non-existent. So it's a case of managing the physique and freshening it up in between these shows. So food's higher than it was at one point. So I would say it's probably gone down to around about 50 grams. And then in off season, I mean, looking at that number that I'm on today, 79, it's probably gone up to about that in off season as well. Maybe a little bit higher. But yeah, I would say anything between the 50 grams of fat up to about 80, I would say. Again, it's depending on how much muscle you've got. This off season is going to be more muscle, hopefully. So I imagine the numbers are going to be run up once again. So that's that answered, I think. If you're looking to know what food sources I use for my fat sources, then we've got dark chocolate, we've got eggs, we've got coconut oil. He's got almond butter on there. I don't use it because it's my kryptonite, because if I have one spoonful, I'll have 3 jars full. So I take that out completely. Lean mince or red meat steak. That's pretty much it for the fat sources. So there, hopefully that answers the question. Best split for growth: 3 days on, 1 rest, 2 on, 1 off, over 7 days versus 3 on, 1 off, 3 on, 1 off over 8 days? I mean, that's a very individual question, and I don't think there is a best split for growth. The best split, I answered this on one of the YouTube questions this morning. The best split is the one that you can stick to and the one that kind of falls in line with your diary, work-wise, family-wise, whatever you got going on, when you can make the gym. What's your recovery like? I would train 7 days a week if I could, and sometimes I do. I'll tag on like the arm days. Not at this point of prep, definitely not. I'll try and rest as much as possible. But the best split for growth, you need recovery periods within it. And in terms of like the 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, 3 on, 1 off, it's neither here or there, in my honest opinion. If you can hit, like, say for instance, 3 on, 1 off, push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs, rest. I like that split a lot because you are hitting everything twice within that 8-day period. The only thing with that is that obviously the days you're resting is going to be shifted slightly every single week because of the way that works out. Whereas I know a lot of people, clients that I coach, would much prefer having a training plan that kind of spans the course of the week, Monday to Sunday. So you'd have the set days where Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday you train, Thursday you'd be off, Friday, Saturday you'd be training, and then Sunday you'd be off, so that you've got that set day every single week that you know you're training this body part, or you're having a rest day, so that obviously you can plan things with your family, or if you've got busy work diaries, etc., you can obviously plug those days into those rest days. Kind of like what I've done today, where it was a rest day, and I've gone out, I've obviously had my hair cut, I've been doing quite a bit of work content-wise for myself, around obviously all the coaching stuff. So I think that's how you want to look at a split, really. Yes, first of all, look at the recovery and the performance and everything within the split in the gym, but also look at it from the aspect of how does it fit in with my life? Because if you can't fit it in with your life and you're going to get stress outside of the split because of the way your split's falling, it's causing you outside stress, then you're not going to make progress with your split regardless. So have a split that falls in line with your life, that gets adequate rest and recovery across the board. That's a bit of advice. So that's another 2 questions boxed off. Another 2 hours of work, and then I'm going to be sofa surfing all night as soon as the wife gets home from the gym. So 2 hours work, meal, chill, meal. That'll be meal 5, chill, meal, bed. Back to work.
Ostracized from the podcast. I just asked that you guys remind me, because I'll probably forget. How are you going to forget this? If I would,
Okay,
I wouldn't be surprised.
that is meal 4 done. It's the same as meal 2, which was the chicken, rice, green veg and coconut oil. So 100 grams raw rice, 150 cooked chicken, 150 green veg, which was asparagus, 8 grams coconut oil, 2 grams of salt, and then some pepper, no sauce. So we are on our way. The question time for this segment. One piece of advice you'd give someone chasing their first show. First of all, don't chase it. Only do it when you are 100% ready. I would say, in terms of like, if it's your first show, for instance, you're never really going to know when you're ready for it, both physically and mentally. So I would say, start a prep, do the prep process, follow it through. Obviously, get a coach, No Limits Online Coaching, or someone else. And then just follow the prep through, and then get to a point where you're there or thereabouts, and then start looking at shows. So that's the first bit of advice that I would give for a first-time competitor. Obviously, Kane's been on stage this year for his first time. We did have the show in mind, but one thing Kane did do is give himself enough time to get to that point, and if anything, he was ready early in the end. So that's like a key bit. There's no rush. The stage is always there. There's a lot of people that are rushing to get on stage these days with only being in the gym 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. You really want to build the physique first before you get on stage. It's a key part of it. You know, you've still got to kind of see where you sit, and I get it. You know, people want to get up there and see how they look and then assess it. But make sure you've got enough time under your belt in the gym, time on the gym floor, putting the work in to warrant actually stepping there under the lights, because there's a lot of people that will force it just to be a part of something, when really and truly it's not what they're about. So it's a tough process. If anything you've got from these videos with me, you will know that it is a tough process. It doesn't get any easier, you just get better at dealing with it. So that is my advice. I'll answer another one because that was quite quick. This is quite a good one. What is one thing people get wrong about being a bodybuilder? I think it's very easy for people outside of this small thing that we've got to almost think that we are just one track minded and boring. It's definitely not the case. Like within a prep phase, you have to be locked in. So it is a little bit more boring than the average person's life, but it's just because we've got a goal, and to get to that goal you've got to nail every single thing, and anything else outside of that just gets in the way really. So you know, it can be boring from that side of things, but in general they just think we go to the gym and then we eat and then that's it. Whereas I think, well, I like to think anyway, that I showcase the fact that I do enjoy a life outside of bodybuilding. I do have other interests. I've got quite an interest in life outside of the gym and picking things up and putting things down and eating 6 meals a day. It is very interesting. I think that's why people kind of are invested in the content really, because they can see what I'm up to outside of that. So, you know, don't get me wrong, there are bodybuilders out there that are boring as fuck. Apologies for that. Camera battery died. So yeah, stereotypically, bodybuilders are boring as fuck. But I think we're seeing a lot more in this day and age now, especially some of the top level guys that put content out, doing things outside of the norm that you would expect a boring ass bodybuilder to do. A lot more fun activities, whether it's going out like on race days with cars, you know, even like Samson and stuff, buying McLarens and shit. I think that was the materialistic thing, not the Samson's materialistic at all. He's probably couldn't be further from it, but just those kind of things where you wouldn't expect like a bodybuilder to be doing maybe 10-15 years ago, because you'd see them in their baggy pants and their hoodie with their hood up and atomic boots. Don't get me wrong, they're still doing that, but they're doing a lot more outside of it. And yeah, I think that's the one thing that people get wrong these days about bodybuilding. So yeah, that is it. Meal 4 done. A couple more questions. I think I've done like 2 every meal, so that will be 8 questions. I'll see if I've got another 4 questions in the bag for meal 5 and 6. In terms of my work, I am done. No more to be done today. I'm burnt out. I've sent like 3 or 4 looms. I've done 2 new starter plans, and I've also done some editing of videos, so it's been a busy day. And I've had a phone call about Potential Fitwear, getting that back up and running with 5 designs, 2 that have already been out previously, with 3 brand new ones. And I think that screen is too bright for you to kind of see what's on there, but I've had a call with the supplier who is on the screen there. So that is going to be coming back very soon. I think I'm going to be getting samples next week, and then once I get my samples and I give the green light, they will be coming. So look out for that. So I will see you for meal Mambo number 5. Meal number 5.
Suspicious of painting in there.
With her shield, I don't think she ever like really had it out on show.
She didn't. I just think ordinarily she would strike me as the type of person that would.
Meal 5. Dunsky. That was the red meat meal, which is 200 gram raw mince or steak. I go for mince, it's cheaper. And then the last 100 grams of raw rice, which is obviously cooked from earlier today, and 150 asparagus, which is currently stuck in my teeth. So that's meal 5 done. 7 PM. A little bit later than planned. Whew. I always get to this point with these days of eating where I'm like, oh, I can't be arsed recording anymore, but I'm here now. We've committed. So on to the next 2 questions. What's your go-to cheat meal after a show? Well, we did a Five Guys on Sunday. Quick, easy. And because we were away, it was like easy access. But I would say pizza is probably the one. It was just awkward to have because it was so late on Sunday. But obviously for this next show, we are in the land of pizza, so I think I will be indulging in a proper Italiano pizza. Although the show's on early. Pizza for dinner, pizza for tea, pizza for my supper. With maybe some limoncello thrown in the mix. So it'll be pizza as the cheat meal. And then the next question was, if I wasn't doing bodybuilding, what would I be doing instead? I'd be doing something, wouldn't I? Because I've always had something. If it wasn't basketball, it was DJing. Then DJing transitioned into bodybuilding. I mean, the thing to do now for bodybuilders that aren't bodybuilding anymore is golf or Mitch Starr fishing. I can't see me fishing. I do like a bit of golf, and I'm pretty fucking good at it as well. Am I? I'm good on the driving range. Smoked everyone in Dubai. Apart from Ellen. A few lucky shots, Elle, if you're watching this. You're definitely not watching this. But maybe golf. I don't know. I'd probably go back to DJ, wouldn't I?
Or basketball. DJ and basketball.
Yeah, go back to my roots. Go back to DJing and basketball. The boys have actually asked me to go back to basketball a few times. And after like 2 attempts, when my weight was starting to go a little bit heavier, and then I was blowing out every bit of my body, my calves, rolled my ankle, blew my calves, wasn't able to walk for 3 or 4 days. It's like, nah. So maybe golf is the actual thing I'd be doing after bodybuilding. I don't know. It'd definitely be something though, and I'd probably go all in on it as well, wouldn't I? Wouldn't I?
Yeah.
She's rolling eyes over here. We're watching Traitors now. Celebrity Traitors.
We're not getting DIY.
Carla would like me to get into DIY after bodybuilding or instead of bodybuilding. Yeah, it's probably not happening. Probably not happening. Or earning money, that would be nice. Gonna get the next meal in pretty quick because that hasn't touched the sides. Like I said earlier in this video, the eating windows get shorter now because I do get hungrier. That should have filled me up. I will give it like 45 minutes to an hour before I eat my next meal at least, just to help with digestion, but I'm still pretty hungry. I've also got myself a little Pepsi Max to sip on because these are back in for the next like 2 weeks, and then for the last 10 days probably prior to Milan they'll be out. And that's where we're at, people.
Mention cooking. Put up a price for this dessert.
Boom. Final meal of the day, which is meal 6.
Fucking shit.
Split into 2 meals. As you can see, it's the trick I like to play with myself, like the eggs, where I split them. Because the vegan protein expands so well, I can obviously do that. So we've got 90 cream of rice, 60 vegan protein mixed with water, 20 grams of dark chocolate, and it's supposed to be 100 berries. I've got 150 because obviously I've got berries left over from the first meal of the day when someone ate all my berries that were left. So this takes me to 4,135 calories, which is 350 protein there or thereabouts, 80 fat, 500 carbs. And that's my rest day food, boys and girls, which is pretty nuts, isn't it? Pretty nuts when you think about it, where I've been eating before on rest days. Obviously, like I said earlier, at the earlier stages of prep, it wasn't up here, it was a lot lower. But we are there, so it's just a case of managing and recovering a little bit this week as well, after 3 shows at the weekend. And that's kind of where we're at, so we're just gonna have a week of letting the body settle a little bit before pushing on into Milan. So I guess this will be where I'm going to be at for the next, well, 3 days until Sunday, maybe Monday, and then drop back down to pull through that crispiness into Milan, ready for the peak week. We travel over to Milan on Thursday, so this is going to be my first international show, so I'm not sure how we're going to manage loading and that with travel, etc. Just from being on trips with other people, the first 2 meals of that day I imagine will be just 0 carb, and then we'll slowly taper them in throughout the day. So that's it. To finish up this, I had a question there saying, what's my plans now that I've got the pro card? Well, I can't decide anything right now because the work's not done. I mean, we could have called it, really. We could have just called it at the weekend. But I still have goals to box off. So we'll finish the job on the 15th of November and then suss out what we're going to do from there. So, as of now, there are no plans because there's already a plan in place. Until that plan is executed, we can't decide anything. So that's it. Hope you've enjoyed. I think it's quite long. I've edited a little bit of it. It seems like it's going to be long. So if you've stuck around until this point, thank you very much. Hope you took something away from some of the answers. And do all the YouTube stuff. And I'll see you in the next episode, which will be probably like 2 or 3 days after this, because man is on his content game. You'll notice I'm eating this bowl first, which is just a vegan and berries with some cinnamon. It's like when you're at McDonald's, we eat the fries first and then the burger last. This is my fries. This is my burger. If you made it this far, comment below. Burger and fries. Thank you for watching. Peace out.